Salam alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Or, or,
How are
sh-
you?
or should I say, wie geht's? Guten Tag, wie geht's?
Yeah, guten Tag.
So, thank you so much, Mohammed, to be here with us. For those who doesn't know you, you are Mohamed Hisham. You have been really famous last year because you went on television in Egypt as an atheist. But all of a sudden, the host of the program kicked you off, and we want to know your story before the video, during those terrible months, and right now that you are safe in Germany. So introduce yourself. Feel free to say everything you want.
Well, I'm Mohammed. I'm a human rights activist. I used to live in Egypt until I had problems out of my activism and I had to flee to Germany. And that's it. I'm electrical engineer. I am really planning to have maybe more of a role in the LGBT community in Egypt. Like, I guess I'm preparing to a show for that. Like, nobody's really doing this,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it.
So you were born and raised in Egypt, in El
Okay.
Cairo. El
Yeah.
Cairo, perfect. And let's talk about your life before the video, because everyone wants to know what happened during the video and after, but we want to go back and learn about your life before.
Oh,
No, no,
well,
no problem. Go.
sorry, this is my roommate.
No, no problem, no problem.
No worries. Like the real life of a refugee.
Hello.
He doesn't mind being in video.
Don't worry.
Anyways, okay. First, the whole thing with atheism started with me when I was like very young.
You don't go to school.
I was, I guess, about 8. I used to live in a very strict Islamic country and Islamic family where my parents used to send me to school, Quran school, since I was a little kid. And then at some point, I started to have doubts, and I started to be actually agnostic.
What age were you at that time?
About 8 years old.
8 years old already. Wow.
Yeah, it was very interesting because I started to doubt everything. Like maybe it's all lie, like it's all assertion and there is no real evidence for it. So why should I just believe? Like for somebody asserting stuff, people lie all the time. Why they're not lying? Why he didn't lie for everyone? Like a kid, a curious kid, you know. And then I fall in this doubt, sort of doubts, and then, however, I kept this lack of belief to myself. And one day I just went to, like, I kept it to myself because like I had to keep my rituals, my religious rituals, and because I couldn't just let my parents know because I would be grounded or had a punishment or whatever. So one day I was at the mosque at Friday prayer, and simply the imam was talking about praying and how if you pray to Allah before dawn, Allah will just answer your prayers. It seemed like a cool experiment to me, so I just done that, and I've actually waked up right before dawn and said, Allah, if you are real, please make my math teacher Mijihan be absent tomorrow because I didn't finish her homework. And then like I went the next day and I didn't find her. And then later I knew that she resigned, and we have actually spent about 2 weeks without a math teacher.
Wow.
So that was, yeah, enough of a sign for an 8 years old. Unfortunately, I fall victim to logical fallacies and false premise. It
Wow.
yeah, it was not very it was not the best thing, you know.
Okay.
And I spent my teens as like a strict Muslim. Like maybe at some point, if I had the chance, maybe to join ISIS or Qaeda or whatever, I would have done that.
So after this, let's say, miracle, your math teacher disappeared. What happened?
Yeah, I've actually it was enough of a sign for me. Like, yeah, I'm mistaken, and Allah is real, and everything is real, and I have like that's enough, you know. He answered my prayers. Of course, it was very unfortunate to fall victim to false premise and logical fallacies, and like fell back into this hole. I spent my teens as very strict, like very strict Muslim. Like maybe at some point, if I was presented with a chance to join a terrorist group, I might have done that.
Oh,
It's
okay.
very yeah. That's how religion could affect normal people. You know, just normal teenagers, I guess.
Mhm.
Anyways, after like also there was a lot of pressure during this period, given my sexual orientation and all of that. So after I started to learn English and like in my late teens, I started to be a little good with that language, and I started to be more open to philosophy, like Western philosophy, Western science. I've started to notice like how it's not making any sense, how religion is not making any sense.
And
Like
you were learning all these things online on internet, right?
yeah, online definitely.
So can you say that you deconverted yourself on internet? Can you
I
say?
might say that, yeah, definitely. Like, I don't think that it would have happened without internet.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, definitely. Like things like the problem of evil, determinism, a lot of philosophical topics, scientific errors in Quran regarding embryology and stuff like that, had had a big role in like make me see the light, the truth, I guess.
And all contents online were just in English, or there was something in Arabic as well?
Well, most Arabic content, I guess, is usually they censor this sort of knowledge
Hmm.
in Arabic. Like people are not really interested, not on the same level of what happens in the West, you know.
Okay.
So it's more like people in the West who are more verbose. They talk about this stuff, they discuss it.
Mhm.
That does not happen in really in Arabic, at least back then
Okay.
during
Yeah.
this period.
Yeah, because your story is similar to many other ex-Muslims from Arabic countries. They discovered a community online and they felt accepted for their atheism, and slowly they became aware of their atheism. But then the soon you go out and you face real life, the society, it becomes a mess, because that's what happened to you. So you told me about your childhood, then your teens you were still questioning, and what happened afterwards?
Well, what happens that I actually became atheist, but as I've told you, like I've kept it to myself. I keep keeping it to myself because the consequences of going public with that stuff, even among friends, is usually not good. So that was the situation. It was I started little by little to realize that how my society is being so unjust and regressed
Hmm.
out of religion and a lot of cultural issues. And that was a little problematic to me. Like I started to have problems being around people who thinks as a normal Egyptian, you know, as a normal, because it's so unjust. It's so unjust to gay people. It's so unjust to women. It's so unjust. The culture itself, like terrible stuff is engraved in it.
Hmm. So
Uh,
at that time you were in the closet, both for your sexual orientation and your atheism, right?
yeah, definitely,
And
definitely.
so it must be hard, because
Yeah,
then.
exactly. It was very hard. It was unfortunately hard. So it wasn't easy to make friends. It wasn't easy to be. Yeah, I kept to myself, and I had kind of isolated life.
Wow.
Yeah, but then later, maybe at 2017 or something, at the end of 2017, I've started to get to know some ex-Muslims in real life in Cairo.
Wow.
And yeah, I really liked them. I fell in love with the community. They were very inspiring and interesting people. Like finally, I found somebody who I had like common ground where we could like have a conversation and understand each other. So that was like very very something that I appreciated a lot. Then after that, by a very brief period, that show thing like an advertisement appeared in some of our closed groups saying that they are seeking volunteers to be on the show who are atheists.
And this was in 2017, right? Or the end of 2016?
The beginning. It was the beginning of 2018.
18, sorry. Okay, 2018.
Yeah, yeah.
And
like I've met them in late 2017.
okay.
And then 2018 there was that advertisement.
And how old were you 2 years ago?
Sorry?
How old are you right now?
I was 26.
And right now you're 28.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So basically, you found this advertisement on the Atheist Republic online group, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Cairo Council.
And what was your first impression? Did you want to go, or did you want to?
First impression, I really hoped that somebody would volunteer to go. And unfortunately, nobody wanted to, because it's like a suicide mission, you know.
Yeah.
You're expected to go into troubles, like a lot of losing your job, losing your family, getting into legal troubles, travel ban, physical assaults. Like it's all potential, all of that on the table, you know.
So you were aware of the threats and the danger of going on the show, right?
Yeah, definitely. I did put probabilities to a lot of stuff. Yeah,
okay.
It was a probabilistic matter. Like, but the thing is that I felt that we deserve a chance, you know, like our community, like being liberal, ex-Muslim, like not being constrained by the restrictions of religion. It just makes you a better human being. In many cases, it makes you a better human being. Religion makes people do very stupid and irrational and destructive stuff in many occasions. So I think I saw that we deserve a chance. I saw that if many people were like us, a lot of the injustice we suffer in my country would have been elevated. And I felt that it deserved sacrifices, you know.
Okay, so did you feel it like a sacrifice, or
yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Because like in real life, I don't take such actions. Like usually, I don't risk my life or risk myself. I'm a careful person usually. And this was some kind of a risk that I was willing to take. It deserved the sacrifice for me.
Wow. And nobody wanted to go on your place?
No, really, nobody wanted to go.
Just to make it clear, how many ex-Muslims were in that group? How many people? What's the number of the community?
Not many people were there, but they were high quality people. Like they were very interesting and smart individuals.
Okay, so you said not many people were in that group, and that you received this advertisement and decided to go.
Yeah, I would like to say that not many ex-Muslims are in Egypt. Like not many of us generally, you know, we are a minority and a small one actually. Loud, we try to be loud. We try to attract as many people as possible. There are like I guess some estimation saying that 10% of Egyptians are atheists or whatever. I'm not sure about the accuracy of these studies. However, very few, as far as my experience, very few people who of atheists or non-religious people in Egypt are concerned with creating a community or spreading the word or whatever. You know?
So maybe even if the 10% of the Egyptian population is non-religious, just a very small part is out of the closet.
Also are interested in really forwarding the cause and like eradicating religion and like it's a cause for them and it's important for them. Not many of us are like this.
Yeah.
So that would explain the numbers, I guess. Yeah, so they didn't want to risk it, and it's very understandable, and it only makes sense. Like, why would they risk their lives? And at the end, it's not gonna be something revolutionary. Like, it's not gonna change everything overnight. It's a lifelong process. Like you would be fighting religion your whole life, and then your children will be doing that, and religion will still be there and still surviving. So
Yeah.
it's not, but sometimes just like you're too frustrated and you cannot really bear the injustice. So you would just do things, you know, like
And
it's kind of
And
explode.
that's what led you to go to the show, which is called the Egyptian Streets.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that was the name. I went there and I was expecting maybe more rational conversation. However,
There was actually no conversation at all because you just spoke for, I don't know, 30 seconds and then they shut you down.
well, yeah, that was very unfortunate. I guess. I mean, I would like to excuse them a little, excuse the host, and maybe even I would like to excuse the host a little, because the situation is that he his audience would have seen it. Like, when you start to make sense, people would start to change their mind, and his audience would have seen it in a way like, why would you give him a platform? Then you are as guilty as him, maybe. And that could have very bad consequences. Like, there was that host that had hosted a gay person, and he gave him a platform, and then that host ended up in jail as a consequence.
Wow.
So it's just, in a way, he was protecting himself. And why would he invited me at the first place? Of course, I think it's something, it might be motivated with profit, and it was a hot topic at the moment because some Islamists in our parliament were trying to push for a law to make it illegal to say that I left Islam.
Yes.
Currently, this is not illegal. What is illegal is to criticize, to actually go and like say that Islam is wrong. That is illegal. But
blasphemy. So
yeah,
let's talk about it because this is important. Let's make a short recap. In Egypt, blasphemy laws are applied, so you cannot criticize Islam or say something blasphemous. And then in January 2018, the Parliament of Egypt tried to pass a law to criminalize apostasy, which is the act of leaving religion.
Yeah, the thing was that you cannot really leave Islam in Egypt, because you cannot, because it's written in your documents. It's written. It's not legally possible. Like, religion is written on your ID, on your birth certificate, on many documents, many official documents. And if you are a Christian, you could change to Islam. If you are a Muslim, you cannot go anywhere.
Okay, I see.
That's how it works. So so you cannot really change it legally.
Okay.
So I think what they wanted to, I'm not sure where I didn't really read the draft, but I think what they wanted to criminalize was like just saying I left Islam, saying I'm an apostate.
Okay. So let's close this parenthesis. You went to the show, and what do you remember about the show right now?
What I remember.
Yeah, your feelings right now afterward, everything that happened.
Well, it was a traumatic experience. I really don't like to watch it. I've only maybe watched the thing one time, and I didn't watch it again. Well, during while I was there, what I felt is that I'm representing the community, and the community does not get many chances to be represented.
So you said that you didn't watch the video again because it was so traumatic.
Yeah, definitely.
But the strength at that moment was coming from the idea of representing the movement, right?
Yeah, exactly. I really wanted to appear in a way that serves a cause. That I didn't feel like I'm 100% representing myself. So that would explain why I did not get angry, or why I did not respond to him in an aggressive manner as he was speaking, because I didn't feel like that would have been productive.
Yeah.
And my goal was to reach a goal, and the atmosphere that he started to create would have never led us to something productive, which is normalizing atheism.
Exactly,
And
exactly.
yeah,
And sorry if I interrupt you, but I want to say on behalf of the World Atheist and Humanist Movement that you have done a great job, an amazing job, because you have stood calm, rational. You didn't accept the trap, because he was trapping you. He was trying to say, you're an atheist, you hate religion, you just want to demonize religious people. You stood calm, you talk about scientific evidence and philosophical arguments, and so you have done an amazing job, and we are all grateful for this. Thank
well,
you so
thank
much.
you. Thank you for that. Yeah, thank you. I wasn't the first one actually to appear on Egyptian TV doing that. Many people have done that, and they have suffered legal consequences for it. Unfortunately, even they are still in Egypt. Not many, maybe one or two, like not many. But yeah, their situation is, like, may I say, much worse than mine. It's very unfortunate. Like, my heart is
Yeah.
broken for them, but there's not much that I could do.
Yeah, we know the story of Sharif Gaber, which right
Yeah,
now is
yeah.
terrible.
Sharif Gaber his situation, I guess, is the worst. There
Yeah.
are other people, but Sharif is currently, I guess, sentenced to prison. Thankfully, he is still hiding, like he's not in their custody.
Mhm.
As far as I know, some people I've heard a lot of rumors that he got caught, but I'm not sure of that. Hopefully it's not true. It's just like it breaks my heart to even go through his Twitter. I just
Yeah,
don't.
yeah. And there are many other people like Sharif in Egypt, right? Maybe we don't know them.
Not many like Sharif. Nobody actually is like Sharif, I guess.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, no, Sharif is very different. He gained a lot of popularity,
Mhm.
and I guess in a way he stood in the face of the regime in a way, because many people just kept quiet to protect themselves. Uh, I even done that after the show. I didn't go to social media, and because otherwise I would have not had a chance to make it out.
Mhm.
So many people kept quiet because the regime is having aggressive policies
Yeah.
against freedom of speech. I guess Sharif did not do that, and that's why he is it's this current situation. And also, he managed to reach a big audience with everything he had. A very, like, nobody have, I guess, got to this level before. Especially teens were interested in his content,
Yes.
which is a great period of your life to change someone. Yeah.
Because one of the thing I understood is that if you are an atheist in secret in Egypt, it's more or less okay. The moment you go out in public and you say out and loud that you're an atheist, this is not okay. The problem is with freedom of speech and freedom to criticize religion, which is not allowed, right?
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. That is not okay. And actually, even saying I'm an atheist, that could have consequences. You could lose friends, family members, you could lose jobs. So this is not also, I wouldn't say that it's okay. Of course, it depends on your environment or your little circle, Some people are understanding, some people are not. If you're not, then you're in trouble. But yeah, when you go public, that is always a problem. That is always, like, you're always in risk of going to jail. You're always in risk of assault. It's always a risk, and it's not a trivial risk, because we see what happens. We see assaults on ex-Muslims. We see people got to prison. We see a lot of stuff. So yeah.
You have been searched by the police because after the video, what happened exactly?
Well, yeah. Regarding my situation, I guess I'm lucky. I was surrounded by wise people to advise me. Um, I after the show, of course, the show started to go viral and it had a lot of popularity. And And I think that maybe added a level of protection because when like independent UK and Russia TV and like big organizations start to talk about something, if you just got arrested afterwards, then that would have been maybe like you wouldn't have looked good. And I think I went offline, like not went offline, but I just disappeared on social media. Nobody could, like very few people could manage to reach to me or know where I am. And that also provided protection because like when you have followers or when you have people or a show or when you talk to people, then you start to appear as a threat.
Yes.
Okay. And the issue is that like there is two aspects for that when an ex-Muslim talk. First, you have the government. They don't like you to ruin their plans, I guess, and they keep religion, they preserve it in a way. Maybe they don't forward a theocratic agenda or anything, but they have a role, like I must say, they have a role in preserving religion. And they do it because religion could help them in some ways to govern. And also we have people, and people think religion is a matter of honor for them, and they go angry out of that. And when people go angry, the government usually tend to do action to make people stable again. And the action is to imprison you. That's how, so to calm them down, because he doesn't want troubles. There are already many pressures on the Egyptian population. One of them is economical pressure, and you just don't want to add to that or give them a reason to maybe get angry or revolt or take matter in their hand.
And that's what happened to you, because at some point you went also to another TV show, which was hosted by a German TV, but in Arabic, right?
Yeah, exactly. The Arabic version
and
of the Deutsche Welle.
There was the host of the first TV show always saying the same thing. There was also another, I don't know, journalist saying, "Is it fine if you're atheist in secret?"
He wasn't. He wasn't a journalist. He was, I guess, a faculty member in Al Azhar University. So he was like an official, a government agent.
Wow. But also in that situation, you stood calm. You didn't attack.
Well, I could tell you the story of this show. First of all, I didn't know the host is gonna be there. If I knew, most likely I wouldn't have went. And then during this show, I was sitting at home. I was surrounded in a way with, like, during the show, for instance, my sister came and asked for money, so I gave her money from my pocket. It was a secret. It was something like that. I couldn't even say the word atheist because I would have blow my cover. They would have like, what the fuck are you saying? And they come to me. So it was very unfortunate that they did not arrange a studio for me. But yeah, like I was in a very terrible situation. I couldn't really say anything actually. And I think that was good because I think I would have definitely got arrested afterwards. Like, I don't have a doubt. I was already in that show, and like I slept this night and thinking that they might just come to me at any point. And thankfully that I couldn't have that liberty to actually speak, and I did not suffer a consequence after that. Like, every time there was an issue that didn't like let me to just be full blown, like Islam is wrong and you guys are deluded and you're crazy. I could have, if I got the chance, I would have ended up in a prison cell, but thankfully I did not. Because now I have bigger chance. Now I have much bigger chance to express myself and to forward the cause.
Yeah, because after the show, I don't know, after 1 week maybe, the police came to your place, right?
Well, yeah, they have actually came. They have searched my cell phone. Thankfully, they did not understand English because it was full of atheist material, but everything I keep it in English. Even when I chat with my Egyptian friends, it's in English. We do it. I don't know who invented the ritual, but it's safer because many Egyptians.
So say it again. With your Egyptian atheist friends, you write in English because you want to hide those
Yeah,
conversations to the police.
we do that. We even chat in English.
This
Uh,
is, it's at the same time amazing and terrible. It gives you the idea of how hard is it to be an atheist in Egypt.
well, we use it for two reasons, to be honest. One, privacy, because like if you got in a situation where somebody is reading your messages, then it's not so easy for them because not many people in Egypt are good with English. There are many people, but like not the majority. Certainly, not most police officers, I guess. And also another reason to improve your English, because like it's a language of like the world, I guess.
Improving your English through atheism. Lesson number 1: God doesn't exist. Wow, it's terrible. Okay, so what was the experience of the police coming at your place?
Well, I was under a panic attack situation. What happened is that they came, they didn't even enter the house. And they asked for my ID, and they started to ask me personal questions about my job, about my life, how many person living here. And then...
And your family was there?
Yeah, my family was there. And they started to ask me about names, where I didn't know any of these names, and they left. Back then, I panicked, of course. I panicked afterwards, and I panicked during the situation, and I didn't really know what I could do of that. Thankfully, there was nothing more, because that's what exactly happened. There was nothing more, and I don't really understand why that happened, whether it's even atheism related or not. However, what really protected me is that, as I've told you, is that afterwards I disappeared, and I have actually also declared to my circles that I'm back to Islam, and I left until I escaped, pretending to be a strict Muslim, and like I'm repenting and everything.
Wow.
Yeah, it was very, very traumatic. Like when my circle know, when my family knew, they had ugly response. Like it varied between locking me up and physical assaults and threat of prison. A relative police officer was very aggressive to me with not very nice threats of reporting me to the police or having a case against me in court. It was a matter of shame, like they felt ashamed of what happened. Additional layer to the disaster of leaving Islam, it was a scandal,
Yeah.
So
at that moment, what was the reaction of your family?
Yeah, that was the reaction.
Okay.
Physical assault, locking me up, taking my money. It was fucked up.
Wow.
Yeah, and they have actually the interesting part was a sheikh. They brought me a sheikh from Azhar to brainwash me, to be brainwash me to be back to Islam. So I had to pretend that he has a superior intellect and argument, and I was so stupid and deluded.
because one of the arguments during the first show was go to see a psychiatrist because you have a mental illness and you have to.
Yeah, they have definitely considered that, but the issue is that they know that I'm not crazy, so it didn't make sense.
Wow.
To do anything regarding this endeavor, but they have brought me a sheikh. Yeah.
Wow. So after this, what happened? Because we lost track.
Of course, like I was before they knew, I was arranging escape. I was arranging to go to another governorate. I've already found work in there, but they were faster than me, I guess. So they knew before, and when they knew, like I couldn't do anything about it, given the threats that I had and everything. And on social media also there was many threats and many people debating how I should be killed or who should kill me or how I should be imprisoned. And this stuff is scary. It's scary because I don't think that I felt I did put a probability to get killed. I did put this as a little probability, but the huge risk was having angry people. And usually, when there are angry people, the government interferes and imprisons people. That's like a pattern. It happened many times, and I think that's what happened with maybe Sharif. Except that I think Sharif also like maybe angered people, because I don't think that if people were not angry, the government wouldn't have interfered. I don't think so, because I don't think that he had that effect of threatening
Okay.
the interest of the state in religioning. It wasn't that big.
Okay.
But I think it's like having angry people is problematic. They usually take act on that.
And your face was public, was viral. The video reached everywhere in the world. We saw it in the UK, in Europe, in North America. And so at that point, you started to think about leaving the country. We're talking about August 2018, right? Or is it afterwards?
Yeah, after the video, I wanted to. I don't know. I mean, I started to feel that I'm living in very, very oppressed situation, even more oppressed than before. And as I've told you, they were like putting me under observation and under control. And I started to arrange for leaving. And at this period, I really wanted help financially to do this. I wanted help with logistics. Many people have offered help. Your organizations, Humanist Ethical Union, have offered help, with their help on the ground by introducing me to people, Western people in Egypt who might help, with their help by, when I made that GoFundMe, when Troy made it, with their help by authenticating that GoFundMe. And thankfully I made it out, I guess.
Wow. And so how was to get out of Egypt for you? Because you went straight to Germany?
Not straight. Due to logistic restrictions, like normal logistic restrictions. For instance, my passport couldn't allow me to go to Germany right away. And it wasn't really easy to get a visa. So I had to travel to Asia and then South America, and then in my way back from South America to Egypt, I had a transit in Germany, and I was there.
Okay, wow. And when was it that you made to Germany?
Sorry? I got about 11 May.
Of this year?
Yeah.
And what was your first reaction? Did you feel safe? Did you feel homesick? What was your feeling?
My reaction in Germany, I was euphoric.
Okay.
Of course, like when I first came, it was a little like you go in the system, just the police officers searching you, stripping you naked, then waiting for like 8 hours on a bench, then whatever. It's a process. But then when I then spending maybe about a week in a camp in Frankfurt.
A refugee camp, or
yeah, it's inside the inside the airport. Actually, it was before even admitting me to the country, and inside this camp, I felt like, okay, now I'm on the land of freedom, Germany. And then I have made the mistake of like voicing why I'm here when other residents asked me, like other refugees. And I have suffered consequences for that, harassment, physical and verbal.
By other refugees?
Yeah, it wasn't a smart move. I admit it.
So basically, you were in this camp in the airport and you said, I'm here because I'm an atheist, and in Egypt they kicked me out, and the refugees themselves attacked you?
Yeah, more or less, they were aggressive and hostile.
Wow.
Many of them, like, they are coming from the Middle East with the same mindset, most Middle Eastern or as most Muslims or whatever. It's just I should have expected that, But yeah, it takes time for people to change. Hopefully they change. Hopefully. Um, and then when I went out of that camp, thankfully I just didn't spend a lot of time there. I went to another camp, and then I became euphoric.
Okay.
And I've learned my lesson, not to talk about this stuff, not to talk about with other, um, like in the camp or any of that. I keep my situation as a secret. However, after my roommate is here now, I'm breaching my rule a little because he speaks English. Hopefully, I mean, I'm relying on that he is in a kind of bad situation himself. He should be deported, so he's running from the police. I don't think that he would be in a clear mind judging my statements that I've heard.
Okay.
But usually, yeah, with other Arabs and with other people, I just keep my sexual orientation to myself. I don't talk about it. I pretend to be a Muslim person and straight person.
Wow. So even in Germany, if you meet someone from that background, you hide your own identity for safety reasons, right?
I hide my own identity for safety reason, not with German people, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully, it's a temporary situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hopefully, I don't spend like maximum here. I will spend here about 2 years or whatever. That is a max.
Okay.
So yeah, and there's always a potential of transfer. Maybe I could get transferred to somewhere that is more hospitable to people, like where I find people like me. I've actually found two people who are atheists. I wonder if we had some sort of camp for LGBT or atheist people. That would be a much better experience than having a life with pretension, where you have to
Okay. And so to conclude this interview on a positive note, now you are in Germany. You
Mhm.
are euphoric about this new life. What is your future? How do you see Mohamed Hisham in 2, 3 years? What do you want to become and what do you want to do?
Well, hopefully, I learn German. I land a nice job in IT sector, and my LGBT show that I would really like to do. I really hope it works out. I really hope that it's not easy. Um, I'm like preparing mentally and psychologically for it because I'm gonna get bullied by every tactic on the book. I'm gonna get like every hate speech tactic that you could ever imagine. So
And this
it's not,
LGBT show will be in Arabic for
yeah, that's in Arabic. Hopefully it works out. It's not really easy. It's not a really easy task for many factors. Like even even gay people themselves in Egypt are suffering out of Islam, I guess, are suffering internalized homophobia.
yes.
So even them, many of them are not very pro. Thinks that many of them think that they are perverts for being gay. It's very unfortunate. Hopefully, I have a role in changing that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe creating a more common ground and inspire maybe people who are more charismatic and smarter than me to do that. Because as far as per my knowledge, nobody is doing like there are. May I say there were like shows for ex-Muslims, I guess. Now, like regarding Egypt, everybody there is afraid, so
Mm-hmm.
they tune it down. And even Sharif, when he was not afraid, he got sentenced to prison. Um, so nobody. I think, as per my knowledge, nobody have ever done it, and I think nobody's doing it. So maybe I just, at least if I wasn't extremely successful with it, at least I would inspire other people to do it.
Okay. Mohammed, you are a true source of inspiration for people in Egypt, but also for people all over the world, humanists, atheists, skeptics, rationalists, ex-Muslims. So I really want to thank you for accepting our invitation. And we are all glad that you are safe in Germany. And we want to support you and support all other people in your same situation because that's what we do. Humanists International supports humanists at risk all over the world because you have been into hell, but as we speak, many other people in many countries, not only in Middle East, are suffering like you did. So is there anything you want to say in conclusion to the world, to the world humanist community?
Well, I really hope that our government in Egypt started to change tactics toward us a little, give us more platform, give us more space. I really hope that us, whether LGBT activists or ex-Muslims, also maybe in a way become more responsible and carefully calculate our moves so that we do not fall in trouble or not like so that we could really manage to make a change, smooth, gradual change. Um, and I really hope that the government give us that space because at the end of the day, if Egypt now suffered terror, if Egypt suffers that there are people who are not really, I don't know, well educated enough or not being equipped enough to live in a democracy, giving intellectuals and giving people like us space and platform could help with that maybe in the long term. And hopefully none of us threatens the government existence because when the government feel like when the regime feels it's being threatened, when you are having a speech or forming a group or whatever, and they feel like you are being a threat to them, they will shut you down. Like maybe what happened with Shri. So hopefully we get more in the future bigger platform. Hopefully they do not feel threatened, and hopefully we do not do anything that would in a way harm them or political in a way, so that we have a little space where we could spread our ideas and push for change, you know?
Yeah. You're basically asking for more freedom of speech, freedom of discussion.
Yes,
And
more of that, but it has to be used carefully because if you really thought that you have real freedom of speech and really spoke your mind about all topics, you're gonna get shut down.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
So
you should be smart with that.
Yeah, this is a message to all atheists and humanists in those countries. Use wisely the few freedom of speech that you have, otherwise you can get shut down. And this is what you have done. You used the platform that you had, and you always stood rational, calm, and you made a great job, and we are all grateful for this. So you say shukran.
Shukran.
Shukran. Thank you for what you have done.
Yes, you know good Arabic. It's impressive. Your accent is good, actually. Your pronunciation, I like that.
Okay, shukran, and I hope to meet you in person in the future. And thank you again for everything you have done. You have all the support of the world humanist community.
Well, thank you a lot. Have a nice day.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye.